Marianne at Trailblazer RV here. Today I'm going to take you through a new RV orientation on an Escape 160 RBT. First place we're going to start is right here in the front compartment. Now when you get to your campsite, the first thing you're going to want to do is level your trailer and put the stabilizer jacks down before you go in it. These single axle units can be kind of tippy. To do that, you're just going to put the crank handle found in your front compartment on the jack, and you're going to crank the jack down as required. Important to note on these jacks are for stabilization only. They are not for lifting or leveling the trailer. So if you do need to level the trailer side to side, rather than lifting the trailer with the stabilizer jacks, you're going to need to do that with blocks underneath the wheel. Around the front of the units, you have your propane system. When opening the propane bottle on the RV, always make sure to open the bottle slowly. If you open it too fast, there's going to be too much of a flow of propane going through the lines, and there's an excess flow valve in here that can trip because it will think there's a leak on the system. Behind that, you're going to find your battery. And this unit has a standard 12-volt flooded lead acid battery. That means there's going to be a little bit of a maintenance you need to do on it. Underneath these two caps, you'll find 3 cells under each cap. We recommend at least a couple times a year you pop these caps off and refill those cells with distilled water, and then put a good charge on the battery just to keep the battery maintained, and the life of the battery will be extended that way. On the battery, simple hookup, your red wire will go to your positive post and your black wire will go to the negative. On this side of the trailer, you're going to find your water heater. Now your water heater will run off of propane. In this case, it is strictly a propane water heater. It's going to be real simple operation to light from inside. Just on here, a couple things we like to point out. Down here, you're going to find it's the sacrificial anode rod. It acts, number one, as the plug for the water heater. When you go to drain the tank, you're just going to need to pull that rod to drain the tank. The second thing it does is allows the minerals in the water to eat away at this rod rather than the lining of the tank. When you pull it out, you're going to find a rod approximately that long, and it's going to look very pitted and corroded. Nothing to panic on there. It is doing what it's supposed to do. Once that rod gets down to just the center steel pin, it's going to be about the thickness of the ink insert in a pen. That's when you need to think about replacing it. If you ever find that your water heater is not trying to ignite, it's likely that your high limit here has tripped. In order to reset that, you simply are just going to need to push in on this grommet here. That should reset the water heater if ever it is attempted to be fired up without water in it. That's likely what would have happened there. Back here, we have your freshwater controls. First one is going to be your fresh tank fill. To fill the fresh tank, you're simply going to remove the cap, put your fresh water safe hose in this outlet. We recommend always using a freshwater or drinking water safe hose just to eliminate the rubber hose taste that you can get when using a standard garden hose. The other thing you can get on these is a freshwater fill nozzle. Oftentimes the end of your garden hose is going to be about the same diameter as the opening in here. That freshwater nozzle is just going to make it a little easier to fill the tank. It also has a shut-off valve on it, so once the tank is full, you can shut off the water flow before it becomes a fountain coming out of your side of your trailer here. Below that is your city water connection. So when you are at a campsite that has pressured water available, you can stick your, again, freshwater hose or freshwater safe hose onto here. But when doing that, we recommend you use a water pressure regulator. The system in the RV is only rated for about 50 psi of pressure, and often campsites will have pressure that is slightly higher than that, or that isn't constant. So what's going to happen is that water pressure regulator is going to keep that water pressure at a level that's safe for the RV. Just like to point out on your running gear, you will need to do a little bit of maintenance on these. The manufacturer recommends that you repack the wheel bearings every 8 to 10,000 kilometers. Also of note on here, the wheel nuts have been torqued to 100 foot-pounds and your tires have been filled to 50 psi. It is stamped right on the side of the trailer here. Max cold pressure, that is what we recommend you run it at. Back here we have your connection to drain your black and gray holding tanks. We have supplied a medium heavy duty sewer hose that will be in the back bumper here. When you go to drain your black and gray holding tanks, you'll put the hose on the end of the pipe here. You're going to want to dump the black tank, the larger valve, first. To do that, you're just going to pull the valve out and allow it to run until all of the waste from the tank has left. Once that's done, you can close the black valve and you'll open the gray, which will be the smaller valve with the gray handle on there. What that's going to do is allow the water from the gray tank to flush out any residual water that may be left in the pipe or in your drain hose. Any of the residual from the black tank that may not be quite as nice to deal with as what's going to come out of the gray tank. When you're done that, just make sure to close the valve again. And there is a cap just to keep the pipe sealed in case there is a little bit in there. You're not going to spill it all over where you're parking your RV. Around the back of the unit, this unit does come with a spare tire. However, it's important to note that the RV never comes with a jack or a tire wrench. Oftentimes the jack for the truck is more than enough to lift the trailer if you so need it, but the tire wrench that comes with the vehicle may or may not fit. So not a bad idea to either check that before you head out or pick up a star wrench just so you can be prepared if you need to. On this unit, you have a power awning, and this awning happens to be adjustable. In order to adjust, all you simply need to do is pull down on the arm here. What that's going to do is allow the awning to tip. That way, if it's raining, the water will run off the awning rather than sitting in the fabric and sagging it. You just need to remember to push the awning back into the level position before rolling it back in. Now this unit is a hybrid, so it does have the bunk ends. To lower the bunks, simply lift up on the clip and pull the handle over. Do that on both sides. It is a light enough door that it can be done by one person. We'll go inside and I'll show you how to finish setting that up. Okay, so once you've got the bunk open, your center bar here is permanently attached. You can just go ahead and push that up into position. We'll set the bed down there. Okay, when that's up, you're also going to find your support bar here. It's got, the one end has the clip and the other end has just locking pins here. So you're going to put the clip onto the center support bar here, and then along the top you're going to find the brace for the clips. You can just go ahead and put the brace into there and push the pins for whichever set of tension you would like. And that's how you set up those. So after that, this is going to be the control for your furnace. Now in an RV, when you turn the furnace on, you're going to hear the fan come on right away. What's going to happen is that fan is going to run for about 35 seconds or so, just to run through a purge cycle before the furnace tries to ignite. After it's finished running through that purge cycle, you're going to hear some ticking, just like there. The furnace is going to ignite. Yeah, there it goes. So the furnace will ignite, and it will heat up to whichever temperature has been selected on the thermostat. When it's done, it will turn off. Now when you turn the furnace off, what's going to happen is the flame is going to go out right away, but it's going to run through that purge cycle again for another 45 seconds or a minute or so. If you do want to turn the furnace off, make sure this lever is pushed all the way over and clicked into the off position. Oftentimes, if it doesn't click, what's happening is you're set just at the lowest temperature, and that furnace can come on while the unit's in storage, that sort of thing, maybe when you're not wanting it to. Over here, this is just going to be your awning control button. So simple in and out operation on the awning there. This lighted button here is going to control the light on the awning. Just important to make sure that that light is off before running the awning in. Next we have your range. Simple to light your range. You're going to want a barbecue lighter. Get the lighter going so that there's flame there. Simply turn the knob to light. So you got both burners going there, and then you can adjust the flame level to wherever you want. Just make sure they are fully in the off position when you're done using it, as propane will continue to flow through there if they're not in the off position. Right here we have your fridge. Now this fridge will run off either propane or electricity. Currently this fridge is set in auto mode. We recommend leaving it in auto mode. What's going to happen there is if AC or 110 volt power is available, it will run off of that first. If it's not available, or if you happen to lose your AC power, the fridge is going to automatically switch over to the propane system. You can override that to run it in strictly propane or strictly AC. However, there's not very many instances we would recommend you do that. So again, just leave it in auto mode for the most part. Can also adjust the temperature a little bit. I think this one goes from 1 to 9. We usually leave it somewhere in the middle, so I'm going to leave it on 5 today. And then to turn off the fridge, you simply press and hold that button for a couple seconds. Fridge is going to go off. Above that, you have your air conditioner. We're not plugged in right now, so I can't run it. However, simple operation on the air conditioner. You've got your temperature controls up here from 1 to 7 for coolness. And then down here you have a couple different options. You've got 3 different fan speeds from low, medium to high. And then on air conditioner, it's going to be your 3 different speeds as well, from 1, 2, or 3 snowflakes, depending on how hard you want the air conditioner blowing. Down here, you're going to find your converter. This is going to be the main power sensor for the RV. In here, you're going to find your 12 volt fuses and your 110 volt breakers. It's not uncommon for fuses to blow in an RV, so we recommend carrying a few spares. And in your RV, you have both 15 and 40 amp fuses. So not a bad idea to pick up a couple spares of each of those just to have on hand in case you need them. Just past that, right beside me here, it's going to be your propane carbon monoxide detector. Now this detector can go off in 3 instances. The first one is going to be if there is a carbon monoxide situation. The second will be if there's a propane leak present. And the third and most common time this alarm is going to go off is if the battery for the RV starts getting low. There is a distinct difference between the alarms that you need to be concerned about and the alarm that is for low battery. Just make sure to take note of it when it goes off. There will be an indicator here to show you if it's a low battery, end of life, or some sort of situation you need to be aware of. Just know that it is wired directly to the RV, so if you do have a low battery alarm, the only way to shut it off is to charge that battery. In the bathroom here, we'll get some lights. So right here, you're going to find your monitor panel. This is where you'll find the controls for both your water heater and your pump, and also your level indicators here. So right now you can see the level of the battery is reading good. It will likely only ever read to the full, the C, the charged, if you are plugged in or have recently unplugged the unit. Fresh tank is reading empty, and black and gray tanks are both reading empty, as we send everything out with no water in the tanks, just for less weight for towing. To work your water pump, simple switch there, just turn the switch on, and your water heater is the same. Your water heater, you're going to turn the switch on, the light's going to come on for the switch, and also this light in the middle. That's your fault light. Now what that is the water heater is DSI. It's a direct spark ignition. So the water heater is going to light by itself, but what's going to happen is you're going to turn it on. It's going to take a few seconds for the propane to get flowing through the system. Once it's done that, the water heater is going to start sparking, and as you can see now, that light has gone out, indicating that our water heater has lit. So it is running. The only time that's going to come back on after you light it is if something has gone wrong, that flame has gone out, maybe the wind blew it out, something like that. The other thing I like to point out in the washroom is just the toilet. After every time you dump the black holding tank, you need to come in here and put a new charge of toilet chemical in the toilet. And it's important to always be using only RV safe toilet paper and also some sort of holding tank chemical. That chemical will come in either liquid, powder, or tablet form. Doesn't matter which one you use as long as you're using something. After you've dumped the holding tank, you can come here into the RV. You're going to put a charge of the chemical into the toilet. You're going to step down about halfway on the pedal. What that's going to do is it's going to fill the bowl with water. Once the water has filled the bowl, you can step down and flush the whole works down the toilet. That chemical does just need a little bit of water to activate. So you need to make sure and do that before you're done at the dump station every time. And that about concludes it for the demonstration on the Escape 160. I thank you for watching, and if you have any other questions, feel free to contact us here at Trailblazer RV, or you can check us out online at trailblazerrv.com. Thank you.